So, the first thing I think in the game that you need to save up for and purchase is a 10-car garage apartment. An apartment with a 10-car garage. And this is one of them. It's the cheapest one, or almost the cheapest one, for about $200,000. So that is your first target. Once you've got yourself a micro SMG to shoot with from a car, you want to save $200,000 and buy one of these apartments. An apartment gives you a base to go to. You can sit and watch TV here, and there's a reason you might want to do that later on. Until you've got some other stuff going on, it's really not going to make any difference for anything. There's a telescope here you can look through. It doesn't do very much. There's some chairs that you can't sit in, which is kind of silly, but that's how it goes. When you log into the game, you're going to spawn in your bedroom, rather than just in a random place on the street. Assuming you have chosen this as your spawn point, and I would recommend you do. And you get, for the size of the apartment, a huge room to change in all your clothes. Now, I don't recommend you spend any money on clothes at this point. You're saving up for the apartment. Don't waste money on clothes. You don't need them. You've got clothes on. There's also a bathroom. If you come back from a job and you're covered in blood, you can shower, clean some of that blood off. It goes off in time, so again, a bit of fun, doesn't really do very much. One of the most important parts of your apartment is the heist room. And this is why you buy a 10-car apartment, 10-car garage apartment. The smaller ones you can buy do not have a heist room. You want the heist room. And I did not realize this when I started playing the game. I didn't know there was a thing as a heist room, and I kept seeing these heists going on, and I didn't know how people were launching them. And I joined in and helped out and stuff, and it was a long time before I realized this is what I needed. The first heist is called the Fleecer job, and as you see, I actually haven't got very far with it, because I don't need to. But when you get this apartment, you're going to play that heist, and I will explain how and why later on. You need someone with you, but you can usually find a random player who's happy to join in with you. If you've got a friend who'll do it with you, all the better. Your 10-car garage attached to your apartment is, frankly, all the garage space you actually need in the game. You don't need more than 10 spaces. Now, you can have hundreds of spaces, but all those other cars, you do not need those cars. There is, by the way, a TV in here that you can watch. And this is just looking at the security cameras. And you can stand watching TV and go away from your keyboard, and you will stay in the game. Sometimes that's useful if you need to go to the bathroom or have a meal break, but you don't want to have to log out and log back in again. If you just sit still, doing nothing in the game, you'll end up getting kicked out of the game. And as you see, even now, I'm getting calls from random idiots who just want to try and get my attention, and I have nothing I want to do with them. This car, the Elegy, if you didn't get one at the beginning, you should be able to find it free. If you go to, I think it's San Andreas Super Autos, and we'll sort by price. It's actually the other one. You need a car, you should have a car, and once you have a car, you can park it in your garage. Here we go, it's in the Legendary Motorsport. The Anis Elegy RH8. It's free, and it's actually not a bad car. So I'm going to use this car and a pistol to do what I think you should do to get started, to get as far as getting your apartment, which is to play some contact missions. Now, you'll see contact missions popping up all the time. They come under jobs, so jobs can be a variety of different things. You've got Arena War, if you've got a way of doing that. Just races, death matches where you're fighting other people, capture things. I don't bother with any of this stuff. I haven't played any of this stuff. What I'm in, well, pretty much. What I'm interested in is missions. So jobs and then missions. And many of these missions can be done at low levels. Now, the casino ones, I would not recommend you try these at low level. They're actually pretty tough. But here's one that you can play at level 5, which you should reach level 5 within an hour of playing the game, starting the game. There's chasers. It takes a thief down here. And you won't have all these showing until they open up for you, so you won't have to do all this scrolling through to find the jobs. It takes a thief, level 5. And then there's rich men in Richmond. This one. Rockford Roll. And where credit's due. These 5 jobs, missions, you can do at level 5. So my recommendation is, these are the ones you do. Once you've played them once, you can create a playlist. And I'll go back to playlists. Here's how you create a playlist. So you have to have played the mission, or at least been in the mission at some point. I'm going to create, and I'm going to add recently played jobs. So once you've played them, they'll appear. Recently played jobs. And the first one there, chasers. I'm just going to select that one, back out, and save my playlist. I'm going to call it level 5 missions. Level 5 mission looks like that's all the characters I'm allowed to have. And I now have a playlist. So my playlists, level 5 mission. The benefit of creating a list is you can go from one job to the next without having to go back into the real world or have a pause or go to a random job. So you pick the jobs you want in the order you want, set them up in the playlist, and you can run through those. And you can say if it's going to take 15 minutes per job, and I've got 4 jobs in playlist, that's about an hour's worth of play. So you know roughly how long you're going to dedicate. Of course, you can take breaks in between. You can edit that playlist and add stuff, you can take stuff out. I've just created that one, and then I'm going to add the other ones, and then I'm going to show you how each of those jobs plays out. But I'm going to do that in a different video, and do a separate playlist for each of the jobs. So if you want to find how I played that job, you search for the name of the job, Chasers, or It Takes a Thief, Rich Men in Richmond, or Rockford Roll, or Where Credit's Due. And each of those will be a separate video that will last about 10 to 15 minutes. And that's it for now.